What's up, guys? Welcome back to the PL Pod right here on YouTube. I am Daniel and we are back with another week and another podcast. I hope you all enjoyed the 3 videos that came out last week instead of the main podcast. They've actually done really, really well, so thank you for the support on them. Obviously, it's a little bit different with me actually playing to it being a video rather than a podcast. But if you listened to last week's podcast, you would have known that it was an absolute shambles, so we couldn't put that one out there. Maybe at some point I will, but it was absolutely awful because I was very, very tired. Thank you for all the support on the grading every Premier League club's transfer window as well. That's done really well and could reach 200 views by the time this is out. So thank you for the support on that. It's greatly appreciated. As always, even if it had a stinker of a start and was 10 out of 10 for 5 hours, it's done really well since, so thank you for the support. One thing I do have to touch on before we do get into the rest of the podcast, I'm sure you can hear right now that there's a bit of an echo. There's not really anything we can do. You just get to hear me twice, which I know you're fed up with hearing me once, but you get to hear me twice, so enjoy that one. And the other maintenance admin thing I have to go through before we get into it is Spotify. Now, last week there wasn't a pod for many reasons, but one of them was because I tried to upload it to Spotify and I couldn't get it to work. Well, I didn't even get to the first stage of getting it to work. Yeah, so I had some issues with trying to upload it to Spotify, so we are going to be sticking on YouTube for now. I sat there for like 2.5 hours trying to figure it out, and I couldn't. So we'll stick to YouTube because it's an awful lot easier. Now let's move on to the guest we have on the line today. Now, he is a very, very special bloke, this man, for more than one reason. He's an Everton fan. So pay your respects in the comments down below because he needs it. I say that we're bottom of the table.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I can't say much. It's Jimmy. How are you doing, mate?
I'm alright. How are you?
I mean, I can't really say I'm alright. Have you seen us?
Yeah, you lot of mud.
We are pathetic. We're going down with the Forest. But no, yeah, I've been better. You know, there's been weeks where I haven't had to watch my side concede 6 goals versus Spurs. There's been weeks where, well, there's been fortnights where I haven't had to watch my side concede 11 goals.
Ooh.
My side have conceded the most amount of goals in 7 Premier League games ever. And we'll get onto them in a bit. But let's just say I will do anything by the time this goes out for Bruno Rodgers to be sacked. Please, God, get him gone. Okay, Wolves versus Manchester City. Erling Haaland is a monster. How do you stop him?
You don't.
Go on.
Actually, yeah, you 2-foot him. You get a proper 2-foot above the knee. You do a Roy Keane on Alfinger Haaland. You do it to Haaland, and then problem solved. But apart from that, I don't have a clue what you do.
There's no way to stop him.
No.
Man mark him.
I mean, have you seen the videos going around what he does to people man mark? He just pushes them all over.
I know. No.
Doesn't let people man mark.
He needs an injury.
Yeah.
I'm not condoning violence.
Respectfully.
I'm not condoning violence, but he needs an injury. Because the Premier League's done.
Yeah.
Like, people are saying, like, oh, Arsenal could have a chance to win the league. No, they can't. Shut up.
No. They've played one big game and they lost that game.
They're a good side.
Sorry. Arsenal are a good side.
I've put them. We're going to do updated Premier League predictions in a bit, and I've put them high. But they're not going to compete. They're not going to compete with City. They'll be like 20 points behind City.
Yeah, but that again, City will be 20 points ahead of everyone.
Exactly. And so yeah, you can't stop Haaland. Then is that the premise?
Basically, yes.
Fair enough. Was it just an off day for Wolves? Or just facing City?
I think it was. To be fair, it was a bit. No, actually, Wolves had a few decent chances.
They did.
Who had their chance? Was it
Guedes?
Oh,
there was one where Guedes was in the box. I watched the game. There was one where Guedes was in the box and he just kind of scuffed it. I can't really remember Wolves having much else, to be honest.
But they had a few chances. But
Yeah.
I realistically, a side like that, you're not going to beat City.
No, I watched the second 45 of it, and I was in, Wolves looked alright.
Yeah.
So you just can't beat City.
Yeah, basically.
Fair play.
Yet, but
And then the big one. What are your thoughts on Diego Costa?
For Wolves, really, there's not really much to lose. I mean, you've got a striker who's, he was incredible before his horror injury, but since then he hasn't really reached the same level. So I think he needs some sort of proper competition, since Fabio Vieira isn't really up to it. He's still young, but he could still get there. But
Are you talking about Fabio Silva by any chance? Not Fabio Vieira.
Oh,
Fabio Silva, the one that's gone out on loan to Anderlecht this season.
There you go. There's another reason. So they only have is that only one striker then?
They've got Jimenez. They've got Hee-Chan Huang from Leipzig, I think he came from.
Oh yeah, I guess he's just a striker that adds more competition, and then not even hopefully. I think that means that it gives him. I think it gives Large another another option for up front, whether he wants to change his style against let's say a Tottenham or something, where you want to just get the ball wide, put it in the box, and you want someone who's as monstrous as him.
Exactly. Did you see the announcement video?
Yeah, I did actually. It was really good.
Did you see what Costa said afterwards?
No, I didn't.
The bloke was scared that he was holding the Wolves.
Now he's the last person you'd expect to be scared.
He genuinely is. I thought Diego Costa scared. I thought he'd love that opportunity.
He probably will. I don't even know.
He's a monster. He is scary. He's very scary. Oh, we've got to do Leicester versus Spurs. Not even Leicester. We've got to do Spurs versus Leicester now.
Oh, where do you start?
Is it time for Brendan Rodgers to go?
Well, yeah. I mean, your form has been horrendous. I don't know whether you knew this or not, Daniel, but your form has been horrendous. You haven't won a game yet. Everton have won a game before you. You've gone. Well, how many games have you gone? Is that 6 losses straight?
6 losses straight, yeah. If you're not including the League Cup.
Oh yeah, 7 losses straight then.
No, League
penalties.
Yeah, League Cup we beat Stockport Town on penalties actually. So
huge win.
I know.
Brings the squad morale up.
It didn't.
You've conceded the most goals. Your attack seems good. Maddison has been the only.
Maddison's been good.
Hall, and you could say maybe Vardy, but apart from that, your team crumpled apart.
Vardy hasn't been excellent so far. Daka and Iheanacho have both been alright. I've liked Daka this season.
That's fair enough. Never mind.
Our attack's good. I mean, mate, we've scored 4 goals in the last 2 games. Yeah. That's not bad.
I mean, you've scored more goals than about half the league. You've scored 10, and you've scored more than Chelsea.
There we go.
United.
Yeah.
And basically everyone.
We can attack.
Yeah.
If we're conceding 22 goals in 7 games, then there's an issue.
Slightly.
Yeah, that's more than 3 goals a game.
Gosh.
So it's time. So you're Brendan out, I presume.
Yeah.
Not that I know who is in. And
no.
The fan. I haven't seen a Brendan in. I've seen people go, "Oh, we need to wait for the right man," which I don't agree with. But I haven't seen anybody go Brendan Rodgers in. You know what? Let's search up on Twitter right now, Brendan in, and see if anything comes up that isn't from an Arsenal. Actually, because I saw a Forest fan say it for obvious reasons.
Who would you want as Leicester manager? If
great question.
When?
I'm just searching up Brendan in now. Does anything come up?
Not a chance, surely.
Nope, there's loads of things about Brendan Fraser, whoever that is. Brendan Fraser. Don't know who that is.
Not a clue.
Who would I want? Ooh, we've been linked with Thomas Frank.
Ooh.
And I think
leave the Brentford job.
Yeah.
Season. Would you reckon he would?
Mate, Rodgers is on 10 mil a year. If he could get 5 mil a year, he'd take it.
I don't know. I don't think he'd want to leave Brentford.
I know we're a mess at the moment. I know we're a mess at the moment. Ndidi, Maddison, Daka, Barnes, Dewsbury Hall, Tielemans.
Like it's a bit of a step up from whoever they have, like freaking Sorensen and all that.
Ricardo, Castagna, Justin, Evans, Fars.
Yeah, you get that quality side, but I think he's got that project at Brentford now. I don't think he's gonna.
You don't think he'll leave?
Too loved by the. Yeah, I don't think he will. But
okay, if not Frank, then I
didn't think Potter would leave, but he ended up leaving.
Yeah, but that's Chelsea.
Yeah, I know, but the difference is basically the same in between two sides. Like, you've got Brighton, who are sort of challenging for top half / Europe, and then you've got Chelsea, who are Champions League regulars, and then you've got Brentford, who are mid-table, and then you've got Leicester, who are trying to challenge for Europe.
Usually this season in a relegation battle. What I see of Brentford is Brentford are the B-Tech Brighton. Brentford are where Brighton were a few years ago. They're building their project right. They're a community club. They're bringing through the young players. They're a B-Tech Brighton.
Who have they brought in this summer? I'm trying to think. So they brought
Hickey, Keane Lewis Potter, Damsgaard, Ben Mee, Strakosha.
They brought him in? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they got Strakosha in. They had a decent window. I like Brentford. We've gone a long way from Spurs versus Leicester. However, if we can't get Frank, Dyche. Look, I could give you a football hipster's choice and go for like Ange Postecoglou or someone like that. I'm not going to do that because I've already talked about Postecoglou on the channel. Go and check out the What Is Going On at Brighton video to hear about who I thought would be best for the new Brighton manager, and then they went and appointed a new manager. But still go and have a look at it because you can hear what I think about some of the managers available on the market. But I would like Postecoglou would be great. I like Postecoglou, like Greek lad from Celtic. I think he's really good. However, Dyche is my choice. He can play good football.
Yeah, he just didn't have the team to do that. Have
you seen the Lad Bible interview with him?
No, I haven't actually.
Lad Bible did like an hour 70-minute podcast with Dyche. It's on their YouTube. If you just search up Sean Dyche Lad Bible into YouTube, I'm sure it will come up. And within that, he was talking about the fact that the Burnley owners every summer would go, "We've got no money. We've got no money. We've got no money."
Well,
if he has money, which I know we don't at the moment, but in the summer, have you seen the amount of players we've got out of contract?
No, I haven't actually. You probably have loads.
Bertrand, Amati, Soyuncu, Mendy, Tielemans, Perez. There'll be more that I'm forgetting about, I'm sure. So I think I said Bertrand.
Yeah, you did.
I'm sure there's others I'm forgetting about.
Isn't Danny Ward's contract running out soon?
I hope so. I bloody hope so. But yeah, so I think we are an attractive option. We are, even though we're bottom of the table, and I would love Dyche.
Yeah.
He would sort us out, he'd get us playing some decent football. I know it's not the most appealing for some players, but let him do the talking on the pitch.
Yeah.
Let him do the talking on the football pitch. So, Dyche for me. Right, back to the original plan after a 6-minute waffle. Yeah. Spurs scored 6. Is that Leicester being bad or Spurs being good?
It's probably a bit of both. Leicester's defence is as weak as it is, but with the attack as strong as Tottenham's, it's just that is a frightening attack. You've got Kane, who scored 1.
Kane scored 1, I think, and got an assist or 2.
Yeah, you got Son. I mean, you got unlucky to see Son back on form. Hit a quick hat-trick. He's back. It's just the way of Spurs playing. I mean, the first half, I thought the game was quite open still. You went 2-2. Game could have gone either way. Maddison scored an absolutely incredible goal. I thought he was one of your 2 good players on the pitch throughout the entire game. But Tottenham are a side that is extremely hard to keep in because what formation do you guys play? I'm assuming you're not like as stupidly wide as
why the players don't know. I'm gonna go into this because it's actually interesting. I heard a report that came out from can't remember who it was, maybe it was Percy, maybe it was Tanner, it was from someone who came out and said, these players, you know, if you ask the players, they don't know. The formations are changing so often. If it's a 3 at the back, if it's a 5 at the back, if it's a 4 at the back, if it's 2 strikers, if it's 1 striker, if it's with wingers or if it's a diamond, the players don't know what the formation is because Rodgers changes it 3 times a game.
Yeah, and your set piece does things back to you again.
Alright, yeah, but so you think it's a mixed bit of both then?
Yeah.
I don't think Spurs were that good.
That's fair enough.
I didn't
watch the game.
For 2 of Son's goals, our defence went, there we go. Enjoy, mate. Our defence parted like the Red Sea half the time. And I'm not joking. We're abysmal at defending. We've got a defensive coach in Colo Torre who I can use a lot of words to describe him. But he's not very good. It's the child-friendly way of putting it. So, yeah, I just think it's us being bad. And then the final question on this, so that I can stop getting really angry and stop bringing everything back to Leicester because we're really, really bad. Top, if you're listening, you know what you've got to do. Is Son back?
Yes. I think, to be fair, no. He's played so many games over the last year or so. He's always been that player who starts for Tottenham. I mean, Kane you could afford to rest, but I think Son last year was the player that you could not afford to rest against any side whatsoever. Obviously going out early in Europe last year helped, but nonetheless he played so many minutes. If I'm not wrong, he was one of the players who played the most minutes in that Spurs squad last year, and I think the fatigue just carried over a bit, especially with Conte's intense training plan. I don't think it helped as much, but then he was dropped for a few games. Richarlison got a run of starting games, and I think it's just helped his fitness and his body recover a little bit. So,
okay.
Yeah,
fair enough. So he's back, and how many goals do you think? How many goal involvements do you think he'll get this year?
I think I'm gonna go ball. I think 30. I think he's gonna get top assister in the season.
Wow. I can see that.
Yeah.
You know, for the second half of the season, my whole thing is: are you going to the World Cup or are you not?
Yeah, but Son isn't.
No, that will help him a lot. As it will help any player that isn't going.
Yeah. Who else isn't going? It says Haaland who isn't going.
Salah's not going.
Oh yeah, I was going to say Marley, he's gone.
He's not going anyway. No, he is going anyway. Senegal made it, didn't they?
Yeah, Senegal did make it.
So I was going to say Koulibaly if not.
Mahrez isn't going.
Mahrez isn't going. There's a few top. Johnny Evans isn't going. That's a top player that isn't going. There's a few top players.
He's never going.
There's a few top players that aren't going, and this will help them a lot. If you look at the French side,
yes,
there will be lots of French players that won't end up going because it's a small squad. I'm sure there'll be some English players that won't end up going as well. The Sons and the Salahs really then make it a great second half of the season.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Son will get 26 goal involvements.
Fair enough. I can see it going either way.
I think 30 is possibly a little bit too bold for now, and I don't want to call it that big. But 12 goals, 14 assists. I can see that. And then last but not least, Brentford versus Arsenal. I've already touched on it earlier, and we will touch on it again when we do the updated Premier League predictions in a little bit. But where do you think Arsenal will finish?
I mean, they're looking absolutely monstrous right now. Their defence is solid, midfield solid, attack is scoring like it's nothing. I think even without Odegaard, he is such a good player. I mean, he creates so many chances for that Arsenal squad, and they still win 3-0 without him. That's a captain that they're also missing as well.
Yep.
It's a big player to miss, and to just win like that. You can say, oh yeah, it's only Brentford, but Brentford have been solid this year. I think they're top half.
Yeah, beat United 4-0 as well, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. Brentford aren't an easy side to beat. As much as you say their squad may not be the strongest, still going like that to beat a 3-0 without some of your best players, I think is I mean, well, yeah, I've said it. It's incredible.
It's good. So where will they finish? Give me a number.
I am saying they will finish. Wait, hang on. I've got it up here. I think they'll finish third.
Third. Okay, fair enough. By the way, that will be probably out as a YouTube short and a reel and a TikTok. So go and follow us on Daniel Talks Football on Instagram and maybe TikTok. I haven't set that up yet, but go follow us on Instagram so that you can hear that back again as a Instagram reel. Where do I think Arsenal will finish? I think Arsenal will finish second. You're gonna hear my reasonings for this later on.
Okay.
But Chelsea have got a new manager.
Yeah.
United won't finish second. I know they're looking alright under Ten Hag, but they're not that good yet.
Liverpool looking weak.
Liverpool won't do it. Spurs won't
Tottenham
do it.
won't do it.
See what I mean?
Arsenal.
See what I mean? Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I'm going Arsenal as second. And then what are your thoughts on Frank? And we've obviously already touched on him to do with the Leicester. We've already touched on him to do with the Leicester job. But what do you think of him as a manager in general? And could you see him... I know you said you can't see him jumping ship from Brentford for Leicester. Could you see him jumping ship from Brentford if West Ham came up? Because I know their fans aren't happy with Moyes at the moment.
Oh, I thought you meant Frank Lampard. Freaking hell.
No, Thomas Frank.
Thomas Frank. I don't watch enough of Brentford. The only game that I've watched this season was the 4-0 United.
Yeah, I've watched 3. I've obviously seen them live. I saw them versus United. And then...
Wait, what happened in that live game, Daniel?
It was 2-2.
Yeah, I know it was.
the only game we've got a point in. I've seen him in another game as well, but I can't remember who. I think I watched the Leeds 5-2 game as well, actually. So I've seen him a couple of times. Now I like Frank. I really do. I think he's a top manager. Do you think he will get a top? I know you said he might not move for it, but do you think he'll get offered a top job?
Yeah, I think it's a year or so until he gets offered a. Maybe not a West Ham, but I mean, maybe a West Ham. I was going to say, in fact, no, probably not even the top. I can't see any of them replacing their manager anytime soon.
That's my thought.
Yeah. Who knows who will move him from? Maybe a West Ham, maybe a Wolves if Large doesn't go to plan. A Newcastle if Eddie Howe doesn't go to plan.
I think Eddie Howe will. That's the issue. But I could see Wolves. I can really see West Ham. Because I think Moyes has got 2 or 3 weeks after all the investment that they've put in the summer.
Yeah, but I swear they're in relegation right now.
They are.
Ooh, what's happened there? Hang on a second.
You right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think about Frank. I think what he's doing with that Brentford side is impressive. He's I mean, I think it's just the structure of the club, how he's allowed to have a saying in what signings he wants, whereas clubs like Everton before Frank came in,
the manager doesn't.
Yeah, the manager is probably the last person that you ask about who wants.
Complete opposite of Chelsea.
Yes.
With Tuchel, where it was give us your targets and we'll sign them.
But I think Frank would do a solid job if he was to get into a West Ham side or
or Wolves, a higher mid-table side, should we say?
Yeah.
Alright, fair enough. And then last but not least, we have FPL to talk about.
Oh God.
How many points did Javier get this week on FPL?
I got 48.
And Daniel takes the win again. Now, last week obviously didn't talk about my plans with FPL because we didn't do a full pod. So I wouldn't have told anybody that I was using my free hit.
No.
And I used my free hit. I came up with 71 points.
That is solid, to be fair.
And I could have got 75 had I put Cody in instead of Williams, because I had Cody on the bench.
Yeah. You know what I did? I forgot to check my captain, so I made Rashford captain, who obviously didn't play, and then my vice was Jesus, and I had Son in my team, who I probably would have captained.
Well.
Yeah.
I had Kane as my captain.
fair enough.
He got me 20 points. All right, run me through your team and the points they've got.
Okay, well, we've got Scott Carson in goal, who's got 0, obviously.
Serious?
I did have Mendy. I had Mendy, but he obviously didn't play.
Oh, you've messed up. Messed up.
I haven't been paying attention, so this might seem a bit bad. But I've got Trippier, who got 5. Scott McKenna had 2. He's got 1. Nico Williams got 1. Gordon got 2. Andres Pereira with 1. Odegaard didn't play, so that's a literal point wasted because I've got no one on the bench. Son got 19. Richarlison with 1. Haaland with 6. And Jesus with 6, but he was my captain, so he got 12.
So, Son saved you.
Yes.
So I had Pope with 2. Obviously I used my 3 hits, so I had a full squad. I had Pope with 2 who started, but I had Luis on the bench with 2 who was benched, so neither or. I had Williams with 1 who started, but again I had Cody on the bench, probably should have started him instead. Cancelo, Perisic and Saliba made up the best of my back 4, with 9 for Cancelo, 2 for Perisic and 15 for Saliba.
I need to get Saliba in. I'm saying this, I don't pay attention to it.
I need to get him in permanently as well. Because because he's not in my proper side and I've got 1 transfer, so I'm bringing him in. Because this was free hit, obviously.
Yeah.
So I'll bring him in. Bernardo, Martinelli and Andreas was my midfield 3 with 6, 3 and 1. Had Gordon and Saint-Maximin on the bench. Saint-Max obviously didn't play and Gordon got 2. And then up top I had Haaland with 6, Jesus with 6 and then Harry Kane with 20 as my captain. 71 points all in all. I'm fairly happy with that, to be honest. It puts me top 180,000 in England, top 500,000 in the world. Yeah, I'm fairly happy with that.
That's solid.
Where were you?
What, in
England and the world? So you scroll down, go to general leagues, go past your invitational leagues and general leagues.
So general leagues. So in England, I am 1,790,000 and 625.
Okay.
So wait, is this game now? Overall, I am below 5.5 million. I'm 5.7 millionth.
I'm 491,810.
And I haven't even broken into the top 2 million.
Oh, that's funny. Well, how are you doing in the Everton league? Because I presume you've got Everton as your club league.
64,000.
I'm 3,729 in Leicester.
Fair enough, but you only have like 3 people to compete against us. Right?
Shut up. How are you doing in your mini leagues?
Mini leagues, well, I'm 5th in my the one that we've got with like our school friends and stuff.
Fair enough.
Only reason I am 5th and not 6th is because Cara joined, and she only joined 2 weeks ago.
That's funny, I like that.
Yeah, Cara's got 120 points from 2 weeks. Got 67 points this week after. She got a Saliba, Cancelo.
Flipping hell, she's done well.
De Bruyne, Kane and Haaland.
Fair enough, mate. In my actual, like, not the YouTuber mini leagues, because obviously I'm not doing great in any of them. First in one, second in another, third in another. So I'm actually not doing badly. For those of you that don't know, I'll do some writing for Sportshood and I'm second in that league. So
how many people is in that?
19.
Jesus Christ.
And high pay for massive, I'm top out of 7, so you know.
Jeez.
What can I say?
What a nerd.
Chaz Ward is 6th out of 7.
Wow.
But no, yeah, very happy with my week. And then, what transfers are you looking making into next week, if you do any?
That I've already made them. I've brought in Saliba and Cancelo for, well, it was Zinchenko and Trent.
Fair enough. I am looking at what player to take out now for Saliba. I'm thinking James or Perisic.
Ooh, wait, James.
James.
Reece James. Yeah. James or Paris? I think you take out Perisic.
He does have the higher form out of the two, though.
Yeah, but form don't mean anything, mate. You gotta look at the fixtures. Who do they all play?
That's a good shout, actually. James has Palace, Wolves, Villa. Perisic's Arsenal, Brighton, Everton.
Okay, well I think you've got your answer there.
Yeah, I'm going to take up Perisic.
Yeah.
And where is William Saliba? There he is. That's my first Arsenal defender. That's 3 Arsenal players now, though, so I do need to be careful with them.
I've got 3 Arsenal players. I've got Odegaard, Saliba and Jesus.
I've got Saliba, Martinelli, Jesus. Alright, Saliba is in for Perisic. And now I need to hope that nobody gets injured over the international break. Otherwise I'm screwed. But okie dokie, what we will do is we will take a short break here before we come back to do our updated Premier League predictions, not opinions. We'll come back to do our Prem predictions in a little bit. We are back from the short break to come back and do Premier League predictions. So let's get on with some Premier League predictions. Javier, who in your updated Premier League predictions as of the 19th of September, who do you have in 20th place?
Bournemouth.
Yep, same.
Just not a strong squad whatsoever.
Nope.
I mean, like, they've had some decent games this year. I mean, the Forest comeback was inspired. But, I mean, their squad is extremely weak.
It is.
I don't know how they've managed to take that squad to the Prem.
Agreed. Yeah, and when a manager's getting sacked for the transfer business and for the squad you've got, you know things are bad. Bournemouth in 20th. They haven't got a new manager in yet.
No.
So that shows a lot. Bournemouth in 20th. I think it's just dead certain, and we'll move on. But Bournemouth into 20th place.
Yeah.
Next up, we will have Forest. Oh wait, no. Who do you have in 19th? Sorry.
I wonder who you have then. I have Fulham.
You've got Fulham.
Got Fulham.
I've got Fulham in 12th. So tell me why you've got Forest in 19th.
I haven't got Forest in 19th.
What? Tell me why you've got Fulham in 19th, Javier.
You know what?
You
I
can't
don't actually know.
Die on your sword, Javier. Why have you got Fulham in 19th? I'm not letting you change
I don't know. I don't know. I was just thinking the other teams above them just look better, but they don't.
They don't.
I'm gonna make a late switch. 90th minute super sub. Southampton 19th.
So why have you got? I've got Southampton in 17th. So why have you got Southampton in 19th?
Squad. I mean, it's literally just about the fact that the squads around them are a lot stronger. But the squad's good, but I have squads that are like Forest or Fulham, Brentford, Leicester, Everton. They're all stronger squads, so I think that's what will take them down the backup, especially if they get an injury to a key player like Ward-Prowse or something. Then they have, I don't even know who to replace him.
Yeah, good point, to be fair. I mean, you look at Southampton, they're 14th in the league at the moment. They have beaten Chelsea so far this season. They beat Leeds. No, they drew with Leeds, sorry. They beat Leicester. But I see what you mean by Southampton. I did keep them up because I do like some of their players. I like Sekou Mara, I like Gavin Bazunu. So I've gone for Nottingham Forest.
Bella Kotchap I really like.
Bella Kotchap, Aribo.
Yeah.
Duja Kaletakar.
Who else is there? I like Ward-Prowse a lot.
Yeah, Ward-Prowse obviously as well. I haven't got. We'll talk about Southampton a bit. For me, I've gone for Forest. I think they've signed too many players. The manager isn't happy. It's hard to keep that dressing room happy. And I think, to be honest, I can see 5 or 6 of the players they signed in the summer moving on in January. I can see like Lingard going. I could see them trying to get rid of a couple of others as well. And I just don't think it's worked out. I think they've signed too much. You know, Marinakis has signed 42 players this summer.
Wow.
22 for Forest and 20 for Olympiacos.
I mean, them Olympiacos signings on the last day, wow. I mean, you've got Marcelo Rodriguez and Cedric Bakambu all on the same day.
Yeah,
and it was all within 4 hours.
And somehow Josh Bowler was included in that window. What's the sense? Marinakis, what's the sense? I'd love to get you on and ask why you've signed half of these players. Why have you signed Josh Bowler for Olympiacos? It doesn't make sense. So, Forest, 22 signings. I don't think many of them will work out. Some of them will. Some of them are great. Mangala looks good. But I just can't put them any higher than 19th. And I think they'll lose Cooper. I think they'll sack him. And I think they'll get in someone who's not as good.
But the one thing I will say about Forest is they do have some injuries to some key players. Like Niakate is going to be a key player in that defence because they do not have a single quick defender in that back line. You've got Cook, who's about as slow as a snail. You've got McKenna's a good defender, but he's just not got he's not got the pace. Worrell isn't quite Premier League quality. You've got Bolly, who's got the Premier League experience. He's going to be a good signing, and I think Niakate is just going to bring that. He's going to bring that pace into the back line because the first game of the season against West Ham. Mm-hmm. Was it West Ham? Yeah, they won West Ham.
It wasn't the first game, but yeah.
It was the first game they won, sorry.
First game they won, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He was the one who contained Bowen, Antonio and Ben Rama. He contained all three with just his pace.
I like Willie. I like Willie Bolly.
Oh, I just said that.
I like Willie Bolly. I didn't even mean to. I like Willie Bolly. I think he's a big centre half. And I was being very careful when I said the word big then, because I could not say, yeah. All right, well, you know what? We'll move on from 19th. Jimmy, who do you have in 18th?
Forest. I've got Forest in relegation.
All right. Well, we've touched on them, haven't we? Why do you think they'll go down quickly?
I think he'll go to the last day. However, like I said with Niakate, he will add the pace into defence, but I don't think it's going to quite be enough.
Fair enough.
Because they've got a Wanye who Forest fans don't think he's great, even though he scored 2 of their 5 goals this season. Mm-hmm. But then he did miss a horrendous chance against Bournemouth to make it 3-0 in the final minute. But I think it's just the fact that they have too many options. It just ruins the rhythm of the squad. You want to have a squad who will start basically week in, week out. You can do whatever you want, but the thing with Cooper is he has to rotate that squad so much just to keep everyone happy, and he doesn't have a clear tactic of what he wants to do with all them players.
Fair enough, I can't argue with that. I've got Everton in 18th.
No.
I wasn't convinced by anybody else to go down.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I just wasn't. Like, Fulham, I've obviously put them high. I like Fulham, I really do. I think some of their business has been excellent. I like Palace, I like Brighton, yes. Brighton I've got low. That's because I don't know what the new manager's going to do. Mm-hmm. Brentford, Leicester, Southampton, I don't think any of these teams go down.
Yeah.
And I just look at that Everton squad and I go, you don't have a good enough striker. Mm-hmm. Your centre-backs aren't good enough.
Yeah.
And they're the 2 biggest parts of the side. I don't care if you've got 4 really good defensive midfielders. Why did he sign 3 defensive midfielders? I've got no idea.
Not a clue. They're all good, to be fair. I mean, Onana's more of a centre mid than he is a CDM.
Okay, well, still.
It's still 2 CDMs.
Yeah.
Onana is an absolute monster.
I know he is. But you need to spend that Richarlison money on a striker, not Neil Maupay.
Neil Maupay's better than Haaland, I'm telling you right now. He's got a goal already, yeah? How many goals did it take? He scored in his first game. He scored 2 in his first game, never mind. How many goals has Vardy got this season? There you go, exactly. There you go. Good. Maupay's better than Vardy.
But I think you're going down.
Fair enough.
I just don't see enough. I don't see enough from Lampard. I think he'll get sacked halfway through. And you'll bring in Nuno.
I can see it, to be fair.
You'll go to the Saudi League and you'll go, Nuno, we want you here.
You mean Nuno is in the one who managed Tottenham and Wolves, right?
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
He's managing in the Saudi League at the moment.
Hang on. Is he?
Unless he's been sacked.
Let me see this.
Nuno,
he does. Al Ittihad.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think you'll go and get him.
Fair enough, yeah.
And he'll go down.
To be fair.
So yeah, Everton in 18th. Who do you have in 17th?
This is my bold one. I have Wolves in 17th.
Ooh. Okay.
Now, the thing with Wolves, I've really liked their business. I think Nunez was an excellent signing. He's looking like a good player. However, I'm just not convinced by that squad, really. I don't think their squad depth isn't amazing. They've got just their starting 11 is strong. However, one injury to that and the entire thing is basically messed up. I'm not convinced by the squad.
I don't like their depth. No, I don't. And I think their lack of striker could harm them. I've put Wolves higher. I have. And I am starting to reconsider that, to be honest, now I've heard that. So they might drop down a couple of places.
Yeah.
But I still think that they're a better
relegation side.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Who knows, maybe the signing of Diego Costa will finally get them goals flowing again.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't think they're in 17th. I was just changing Wolves. I've dropped them down one position.
Okay.
But I don't think they're that bad. So, yeah, Wolves, I don't think you will. I'll put Southampton 17th. We've already discussed Southampton. I think they've got a good young squad. I did tip them to go down in my before-season Premier League predictions. However, I've tipped them to do a little bit better now. I've tipped them 17th. And I think that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Who do you have in 16th?
In 16th, I have Leicester City.
Same here.
The only... I mean... I don't think there's a chance you get relegated. That's unless by some sort of miracle that Rodgers keeps his job the entire season.
Yeah.
Which you'll have a worse. Will you have a worse if you're on course to have a worse record than Derby. But yeah, I just, to be fair, your squad hasn't strengthened since last year.
Yeah, it's got
brought in Woofars. Yeah, Woofars, who, if I'm not, was he any good in this first game? I don't know.
He was. I mean, I don't want to say he was good, but nobody was.
To be fair, it's hard to
I
play
can't
good
comment.
at a team that's conceded 6.
Yeah, it is, but he wasn't bad either.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I don't think anybody was actually a shambles in that game versus Spurs. I mean, Castagne was.
Would you say Danny Ward?
Danny Ward's abysmal. But yeah, 16th. I think the lack of goalkeeper will harm us. I think give us a new manager and we'll come.
Yeah.
Give us Dyche and I think we'll do well. So 16th for Leicester. I think give us a new manager and we'll be alright. Who do you have in 15th?
I have Fulham in 15th.
Why is that?
Again, just not. I mean, to be fair, they've brought in some good signings. They've got Mbabu, who's always a big impact off the bench. I mean, who was it that Fulham won 3-2 against? He got the assist to Mitrovic in the final minute. He's just a player that can put the ball in the box, which is what you need with a striker like Mitrovic, because he's just a bagsman in the box. You just need to put we just need to put it in there. But I think that I just have a feeling again, like, just the teams above them have a stronger squad than them. It's not a fact of their squad isn't good. It's just the teams above them have a lot better of a squad.
Fair enough. This is 15th, isn't it? I've got Brentford.
15th, yeah. Fair enough. I've got them higher.
I could see them losing Frank, and that harms them. If they get an injury to Tony, they're screwed.
Yeah, actually, I didn't think about that.
If they get an injury to Damsgaard, I think there's just a lot of players they could. They're another squad that maybe doesn't have the depth needed. So for me, 15th for Brentford.
Okay, that's fair enough.
It
goes either way, to be fair.
it does. Who do you have in 14th?
I have Everton in 14th.
Okay.
This is because, as of these first 7 games, we may have only won 1, but we've lost 2. So we're proving to be a very hard side to get points off. I think when we're playing at home, that's going to be a big thing to keep us up. And I think Frank's got a good squad together. I mean, I think with the budget that we've had, I think our business has been incredible. We've got in Idrissa Gana Gueye, which I think was a £2 million signing.
It was cheap.
Yeah, you've got Morpay, who was just a necessity. I mean, he got his first goal on the weekend against, I've forgotten who we've already played. We played West Ham. Sorry, played West Ham, and I think we were comfortable that game. I think we've got an organised side. We've got Pickford, who's incredible. We've got a good defence now. Our midfield is incredible, and we've got a good attack. I think this is the first time since. I'm going to say that this is the first time since Carlo that we've had a squad where the manager knows what he wants to do with the squad. Okay. And yeah, I think we're just going to prove to be a team that's hard to get points off.
A lot of draws I could see. For me, it's the lack of goals that got you down, but then as well, if you can turn them into draws, I think you're fine.
Yeah.
So, alright, fair enough. Alright, I see that. Who do you have in 13th?
13th.
Wait, did I say who I've got in 14th, actually?
No, you didn't actually.
I've got Brighton in 14th. I just don't know what the new manager's going to bring. Yeah. Full stop. End of. If it's Potter, they go 7th. And genuinely, if it's Graham Potter, they're 7th for me. But I don't know what the new manager's going to bring, and I can't really comment on how he's going to fit. So, 14th, it's safe, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who do you have in 13th?
In 13th, I have Brighton.
Oh, fair enough, man.
It was basically just the same reason as you. I don't know what the new manager brings in. However, they do still have a good squad. I think Caicedo and... It's Caicedo.
Caicedo, yeah.
You've got Caicedo and Gross, who I think are
both very good.
Very good midfielders. You've got Trossard, who's always going to be...
Out of contract next summer.
Is he?
Out of contract summer 2023, unless he's got any sort of extensions in there. But he is out of contract, so he could be one free agent on the market to watch out for in January.
Yes. I just think they have a good squad. I think
fair enough.
They have a good squad. They have a good enough squad to keep out of the relegation scrap, I think.
Fair enough. I've got Crystal Palace in 13th.
Okay.
They just scream mid-table. Under Vieira, they're a good side. They've got some very good players. I like Guehi, I like Anderson, I like Mitchell, I like Elise, I like Eze. But they just scream 13th.
Yeah.
And I think they're a good side. But yeah, 13th for me. Who do you have in 12th?
I have Brentford in 12th.
Okay.
So this is before you raise the point that if Tony gets an injury, then who do they bring in? Because I actually can't name another striker that they have.
Is Dostiloglu is his name? Is he still there?
I'll have a look. Turkish striker.
I'll have a look for Brentford strikers now. But yes, I agree with your point.
They have an Iranian striker. Actually, I think I know that they have some Iranian done, but he's not great.
They've got Godos, so I don't know if he's a striker.
Yeah, I think he's the Iranian person.
Is he the Iranian guy? If he's not, then they don't have another striker in the squad.
Yeah. However, if you keep Tony fit, he's a man that you can rely on for goals.
Indeed.
You've got a plethora of wingers to choose from. You've got Mbomo, Keenlos, Potter, Damsgaard. Who else have you got? You've
Visser.
got so many. Yeah, Visser. The midfield again, quite solid. You've got Josh Da Silva, who made an incredible start to the season. Slowed down a bit, but he's still a solid player. You've got
Nordgaard. You've got Onyeka.
Yeah.
There's some good players in there. Alright, I see your point. I've got Fulham 12th.
That's fair enough.
I'm not sure why I've got them so high, I'm going to be honest. But I just look at the squad and I look at Silva and I see the fact that it could very easily be a second season syndrome. But I think Leno's a really good keeper.
Yes.
I think the signing of Kurzawa could end up actually coming good because he's got something to prove if they can get him fit. The centre-back pairing of Duffy and Diop scares me.
Yes.
And maybe I've put them too high. I think I've probably put them too high.
Yeah.
But Solomon I like. Pereira I like. James I think's alright. João Palhinha is excellent. And Alexander Mitrovic will be the reason these guys stay up.
I see it.
16 goals.
Yeah.
And that will fire them into... He's already got 6.
Yeah.
And that will fire them into 12th.
Yeah, I can see it.
So I've died on my sword. Maybe I'm not confident, but I've died on it. Who do you have in 11th?
I have West Ham in 11th.
Okay.
The thing that scares me about them is their defence.
Okay.
They concede far too much. I mean, they've tried to bring in Theo Kehrer, but he has been absolutely horrendous. He's had an own goal, a red card in his first 3 games, I think it is. I'm just not convinced by the squad. They haven't made too many changes. I think Moyes just wants to keep the squad the same. As I said, he's just not strengthened the squad. If anything, it's just weakened a bit. Just not. They don't score enough, and they also concede too much. So it's not really something that you want there. Obviously brought in Scamacca, who is coming off the bench a lot, but I think he's just trying to, get into it. I think he's going to be a good player. Came on against Everton, made a decent little impact, but obviously wasn't enough. But I just don't see Crystal Palace pushing higher than Crystal Palace.
Chris, I was going to say,
West Ham
West Ham.
pushing higher than 10th.
Are we on? I swear we're on 11th.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
all
what
over the place. Yeah, 11th.
It's
I thought so.
10th, 11th. I
Alright,
don't
fair
know.
enough.
You could switch these.
I've got Wolves in 11th.
Okay.
I think they've got a good team. I like Nunez. I'm worried about the strikers. I'm worried about some of the centre-back situation. I don't know why they let go of Cody, in all honesty. But I think 11th, mid-table, is fair enough.
Yeah.
Who do you have in 10th then?
In 10th, I have Leeds United. So I like the business they've done this summer. They've got in Christensen, Aronson, Adams. They've got some good players. They had Rodrigo, who was hitting goals like it was nothing until his injury. But I think all round they still have a good squad, a good young squad.
Indeed.
And well, yeah, it's just I think again they're just a side that scores a lot, but also again a side that concedes a lot. So we'll see how it pans out. But I just think they'll be a mid-table side.
Mid-table side.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I've got Aston Villa in 10th.
Okay.
They just scream again mid-table. I could have put them lower. There's such a range of teams here that could be higher, could be lower.
Yeah.
Brentford, I'm sure people might get in the comments saying I put them in too low. Same with Brighton. And people might go, Villa and Wolves and Fulham deserve to be lower. There's just this mid-table region where anything could happen. I just think they've got some real quality within that squad. If Bailey can come good, he's incredible.
Yeah.
If Watkins can start banging in some goals. If
Danny Ings-Scott's.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not convinced with some of their team, to be honest, so maybe 10th is too high, and I don't like Gerrard, but that's part of the thing. I feel like they could sack Gerrard and get like Poch.
Yeah.
At which point, then yes, I'm very confident with this Villa side. So yeah, Aston Villa into 10th for me.
What was that? It was 9th. Was that? No, it wasn't 9th. That was 10th.
That was 10th. Who do you have in 9th, Jerry?
In 9th, I have. I've just switched these two around. I've got Crystal Palace in 9th.
Wow, okay.
Because I think they have a really strong squad and they have a manager who knows what they're doing. I like Crystal Palace. I just think I think they're just a solid team. But
they're a well-run club at the moment.
Yeah.
Doing it right.
Yeah. Again, it's just the situation of they have a better squad than everyone else around them.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I've put them 13th. It's fairly similar.
Yeah.
9th, I've got Leeds.
Okay.
Like some of the players, really like Aronson, really like Christensen, really like Rocker, really like Adams, really like Sinistera.
Oh, forgot about Sinistera actually.
Leeds in 9th for me.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's not really much more to say. I just really like their good, young, hungry squad. Who do you have in 8th?
I have Aston Villa.
Okay.
This is again, it's just the same thing. They have a better squad than everyone below them, but I don't think Aston Villa are that great of a side. But I think they'll just somehow find a way to creep into that European fight. I think their squad's really good. I think Buendia. I think this could finally be his season because he's got a point to prove more than ever now.
He does.
They've got Watkins, who I think Watkins is still a very good striker. They've got a quite well-rounded defence. You've got Tyrone Mings, who I know a lot of people don't really like.
I don't rate him, no.
But again, he brings in a lot of experience with them. He's got the England experience. They've got a good midfield, Douglas Luiz, who I think is extremely underrated. I think he's a very good midfielder. You've got John McGinn. You've got Coutinho, whether he starts to perform or not. I think he's just got a good, strong squad with a bit of depth with it as well.
Fair enough. In 8th, I have West Ham.
Okay.
For me, it's down to one player, Lucas Paqueta. I will keep banging the drum on Paqueta until he turns into a monster. Everyone on here has heard me talk about him 2 or 3 times now. I love Paqueta. He's going right to the top.
Oh, I've forgotten about Paqueta.
Yeah, Paqueta for me, 8th. It's the reason why I've put West Ham 8th. I like Scamacca as well, but I don't know if he's the West Ham striker. But yeah, Paqueta for me, West Ham 8th because of that. Who do you have in 7th position then, Jabir?
I have Newcastle, and
Okay.
I'm going to say it again. They've just got a stronger squad than everyone. I think their squad is very strong. Their starting 11 is
It's
obviously up there. They've got Pope in goal. You've got a solid defence, especially with the addition of Botman. I really like him. I think he's solid, and he's young as well, so he has time to develop. If he doesn't work, you sell him on for 20 million. Either way, you don't really lose. You've got Dan Burn next to him, who I really like. Fabian Schär. The left back is what concerns me, because their best left back, I think, is Matt Targett.
Yeah.
Which I'm not convinced at. Obviously, the rest of the squad is good. In midfield, you've got Guimaraes. I've already forgotten now. Almiron, who can play there. Joe Willock. Joe Linton. Forgot him again. And then the attack, obviously, you've got Isaac, Maximin. You've just got a huge amount of options, whatever you want to do.
It's a very good attack. I've also got Newcastle in 7th. I like Isaac. I like Isaac a lot. I think he's a good striker. Is he a goal scorer? I'm not 100% sure. However, he's a good striker. And he helps to link the play well, and I like Isaac a lot. I like St. Max. I like Joe Linton. Now I do. I didn't used to like him as a striker, but I like him as a midfielder. I like Bruno. I don't mind Target, to be fair. Trippier's obviously great. Botman's alright. Botman's very good, actually. Pope's good. So yeah, Newcastle in 7th. I think they're going to the Conference League.
That's okay. That's fair enough. And then 7th that qualifies?
7th is Conference League, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's top 4 Champions League, 5th and 6th Europa League, 7th Conference League.
I thought, for some reason, 7th was the qualifying stages of the Europa League, and then 8th was...
Not anymore, no. It's changed.
Okay. Fair enough.
It used to be qualifying stages for Europa League, but now it isn't.
Okay.
I don't really know what's happened. Who do you have in 6th place then, Jabir?
I have Manchester United.
Okay.
I like the business I've liked some of the business that they've done. I think Anthony was the exception. I think 85 million was absolutely extortionate for a player who doesn't score a lot. He just brings a lot of flair into the game. But Lisandro Martinez, I really like the signing of him.
Very good signing.
I think with the early criticism with his height, will he be able to adapt? If you play a tall centre back next to me, should be fine. But either way, he does win a lot of aerial battles. Yeah. Very solid defender. Malacia I like a lot. I think he reminds you a bit of Van Aanholt. Just a fast striker. Fast striker. I've lost it. A fast left back who can get the ball in the box.
I know what you mean, yeah.
Literally the same thing. Casemiro, God knows how he'll perform, but if he's anything like the Real Madrid version of himself, then
he'll be great.
Yeah, solid.
So why 6th? Why not 5th or 4th or 3rd?
You've probably heard me say this before, but they just have a weaker squad than everyone.
I see your point. I see your point. I've also got United 6th, and it's the point where they've got a good squad. They've got a very good. Well, they've got a good team. The squad is not there yet, and they've obviously compared to the rest of the league, they've got a good squad. And Ten Hag's an excellent manager. Just what's going on behind the board. However, he just needs another year or 2. Let him have another summer. If he can do another summer like he's done this summer, bring in a top tier striker. I can see them getting Osimhen.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring in Osimhen, bring in another centre-back so you can let some of the trash go. I was going to say something else. So you can let some of the trash go. The Lindelofs of this world. Bring in another right-back so you can let Wan-Bissaka go. Yeah. It's these kind of things that, they just need to slowly start to phase out. And he's a very good manager.
It's not going to be a quick process.
No, not at all. Because they've got Phil Jones still at Manchester United.
You've got... Who have you even got that you want to get rid of? I mean, clearly Van der Beek isn't part of plans.
The midfield, Van der Beek, Fred, McTominay. I know some of them are decent players to have around the squad as backups, but not to be starting.
Yeah, especially with the wages that they're probably taking up.
Exactly.
Probably get so much better than that.
Exactly. That's why I've also put them 6th, and I fully agree with you on that one. Who do you have in 5th position?
In 5th, I have Tottenham.
Okay.
And this is just because I think they will. I've made a new term. I think they will Tottenham it, which is a term for absolutely bottle it in the last few games. I want to see what their last run of games is. If I'm not,
I'll have a look for you now. You keep talking, I'll have a look.
Okay, yeah, I was just looking now. Sorry. Yeah, they play Man United and Liverpool straight in April. So I think that, especially with playing teams like Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, you've got sides that are probably still playing for something. You know, if you're playing like a side that are already relegated or something.
I don't know. These the four sides they finished the season with: Palace, Villa, Brentford, Leeds. They'll all be safe, and I don't think they'll have a chance for Europe.
But again, they'll just be the outside. Like, if you remember, it was not last season. It was the season before that. You had about 5 teams that are competing for Europe.
Yeah. On
the last day, and obviously it went to it was Tottenham, and it wasn't Arsenal actually. It was Tottenham because they won the final day against your beloved Leicester.
They did, and Chelsea lost and still got third. And yeah. All right. So you've got Spurs 5th. I've got Chelsea 5th. Don't know what Graham Potter's going to do.
I think I'm not saying it's 5th based on the fact that Tottenham have a weak squad. I think Tottenham's squad is 1000% obviously Champions League quality. It's just dependent on whether Conte can actually get the best out of all these players, because I'm not convinced fully over 6 months.
Fair enough. But yeah, I've got Chelsea.
That's fair enough.
I just don't know what Potter's going to bring. I think he's a very good manager, but I don't know if he works at Chelsea. We've got a full video on Graham Potter out on the channel, so go and check that out. I just don't know if he brings what's needed. Who do you have in 4th position, Jabir?
You can have a guess. I don't want to say the name of the club.
I agree. I've also got them in 4th position. The red side.
4th.
The red side of Liverpool. Well, Liverpool.
They have a strong defence. Well, I don't even know about strong defence anymore. It's just a side you simply cannot rule them out of anything. If they have they might always have like a bad run of games. However, they will always find a way. It's Liverpool. They will never find a way to not make top 4. Especially in the season they lost Van Dijk. It seemed so unlikely, and they turned it around like that.
They did it. Yeah, it was very, very impressive. Yeah, I mean, I've also got them 4th. I just think Klopp's reached the end of the cycle with the players. I think he'll end up walking at the end of the season because he won't be told that he'll get the investment that he wants, and I think he'll end up walking.
That's fair enough.
And I think that's the gist of it. We've got 3 teams left. Who do you have in 3rd position?
I've just made a late. I'm going to keep it this way. In 3rd, I've got Arsenal.
Okay.
I think Arsenal and Chelsea for 2nd.
I was going to say Chelsea 2nd.
Yeah, I think Chelsea 2nd. I just think that I don't know. I have a feeling that Potter's going to absolutely smash it.
Okay.
I don't know what's making me feel this, but we'll see. But I think with these two, you can switch it around. But like, if you were to say Arsenal 2nd, I can't blame you. But I'm saying Arsenal 3rd just because they tend to finish the season badly.
Fair enough. I've got Spurs 3rd.
Okay.
I like the squad. Like Conte. Simple, really.
Yeah, that's all there is.
This video is dragging, so we'll move on to 2nd quite quickly. If you've listened to this from the video, well done. You must be about 35 minutes in. Who do you have in 2nd?
Well, I have Chelsea. Because squad's good. However, now that I'm thinking of it, could potentially the lack of a true striker harm them because well, clearly, I mean, Breuer is obviously like a good striker that they have, but he's not getting started. Which
he might under Potter.
It's true, but then like if he wasn't starting on Tuchel, maybe that means he's causing some sort of thing back that we don't know. But
yeah, we don't know.
Who knows?
So you've got Chelsea 2nd. I've got Arsenal 2nd. It's a team that's together. It's a group that's with the manager. He's not going to change. The group's stable. The players know who's going to play week in, week out, and it's just going to work, and they're going to get 2nd. But yeah, there's nothing more to say. I really like Arsenal this year. And then last but not least, it's the team that has a robot up top, Manchester City.
I'll go Everton first, mate. Yeah, big fan. No, I don't know how they managed to do it, but they're strong. Their squad just gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and now they've got you could say it, but he's arguably the best striker in the world. Behind the best creator in the world, it was never gonna fail. I thought it would take a few months, but I think it's safe to say that he's hit the ground running.
He has. First place for City. I think they'll smash it and could get 100 points. Go invincible, maybe. Go win the Champions League, maybe. They're incredible.
I'm still not convinced they'll win the Champions League. If they win the Champions League, the world's going to die.
The world's going to end, is it, Drew?
Yes.
Fair enough. All right. Well, we'll finish that section there, and we will take another break before we come back and talk about England. We are back from the break, and we are back to do the fallout of the England squad, we'll call it. The first thing we need to talk about, and I know the guy's since pulled out through injury, but it's something still interesting to talk about. Do you think Phillips should have been included in the squad, even if since he's pulled out?
Phillips is a good player, however, hasn't played at City at all. Don't think it was really the best decision to put him in the first place.
I agree, to be fair. Very short and precise there, Drew.
Also, I'm just looking, for the England squad. They who have they replaced Calvin Phillips with?
I don't think they've announced it yet, have they?
Okay, well, without Calvin Phillips, they've named 4 midfielders.
I know, it's Southgate, because we'll be playing a 5-2-3, won't we?
Yeah, how many defenders is there? That's 1, 2,
12,
3,
I think.
6, 7, 9. Yeah, 12, wow.
Yeah, it's madness. Alright, so would you have included Phillips?
No.
Who would have you put over Phillips?
It's a good question, because I can't think off the top of my head right now, but Ward-Prowse is there, Bellingham, Mount, Bryce, they're all in. What other English midfield? I can't even think who what them big in.
Well, there's an attacking one that didn't get in.
Oh, James Maddison, big one.
To the name of James Maddison, yeah.
I think he should have got in, to be fair. I think he's quality.
I think he is. I don't know. I know why he isn't getting in, because Southgate doesn't like him and he doesn't play with a 10, and that is Maddison's best position. But still, put him in to appease people.
England midfielders. I'm trying to think of any other England centre mids.
There's Fabian Delph.
Oh, mate, he should have made it.
He doesn't have a club, does he?
Doesn't matter, mate. Who else is it? Jordan Henderson. I don't know if fan of Jordan Henderson. I don't even rate him.
So what are we going to say? Madders, are we, instead of Phillips? Is that who you would bring in now instead of Phillips?
Probably. But
even
then,
though it's a different kind of player.
Yeah, I was going to say, even though it's if you were talking in terms of Southgate style, I'd probably bring in like Henderson, maybe.
Henderson,
just because of the fact he's like the next player that I can think of who would play that sort of position the best.
Fair enough. All right. Next one. Obviously, Grealish and Bowen made it into the squad, and Sancho and Rashford didn't. Do you agree with the decision? And if not, who would have been the 2 wingers you would have taken out of those 4?
I think I don't see the point in bringing Grealish in if you're not going to play him as a number 10, because we've seen it at City. Grealish on the wing just does not work. So I thought maybe bringing Rashford or Sancho, whichever one of the 2. I'm not sure who I think is better. I think that's probably edged towards Sancho.
So what, you would go Sancho and Bowen, would you?
I'd go Sancho and Bowen.
Okay, I wouldn't. I would genuinely go Sancho and Rashford.
Really?
Bowen hasn't scored or assisted this season. Maybe he's got an assist. Maybe he's got an assist. He hasn't scored.
Oh, freaking hell.
And Grealish has been poor.
Yeah. Grealish is, yeah, but I think with Bowen you could. I mean, I still think Bowen's obviously still got it, but whether he deserves that spot, I don't know.
Agreed. And yeah, for me, Sancho and Rashford over Grealish and Bowen, and you've gone Sancho and Bowen. Okay, fair enough. Should White have made it into the squad over Harry Maguire?
Yes. However, I don't really rate. I mean, we don't know what White does at centre back right as of the season, because he's operated as a right back since they've got Saliba and Gabriel. However, would I brought instead of Maguire, who starts on the bench the bench has actually become his best position now.
It has.
I mean,
Southgate loves his right backs though.
Yeah, but at the same time, you've got Trent and
James and
Trippier there. Yeah,
James is in as well, isn't he?
Reece James, yeah, he is there.
Walker?
Who left backs of the year? Oh god, yeah, there's 4 right backs, isn't there? There's only 1 left back.
Is there not Shaw and Chilwell?
How am I Chilwell? Yep. Okay, yeah, never mind.
Yep. All right. So
Sorry.
Your decision: would you have put White or Maguire?
I think it's with Maguire. Yeah, if you put in the England squad, he's a different player.
He is.
However, if we're going off club form, there's no chance you put him in.
Fair enough. All right. So
absolutely no chance.
Final decision.
You bring White in instead.
You bring White in instead. Okay. Tony got called up to his first England squad. How do you think he'll do?
Deserved. I think
Indeed.
It's been coming for a while now, I think, especially with the form of Calvert-Lewin and Ollie Watkins dropping off. Tammy Abraham's come up as well. He's an absolute monster now.
Tammy's
obviously.
incredible, yeah.
Whether he gets any minutes or not, Tony, I don't know. But if he gets minutes, I reckon he'll do a solid job. But I don't think he'll score.
Okay, so you think he'll do a solid job?
Yeah.
Fair enough. And then the last 2 questions to sum up this very short English section. Are you confident with Gareth Southgate?
I mean, it sort of changes, with like every single international break. We seem as though we're just hit with inconsistency. But if you just look at what he's done the last 2 tournaments, a semi-final and a final, and you lost on penalties, it's just based on luck at that point. I think with his performance in major tournaments, you just have to let him do what he does, because if he really was that bad, obviously we wouldn't have even got to the final. You can say, oh yeah, we had an easy route to the final in the Euros, we had home advantage, whatever, but you've still got to beat the teams. You beat Germany 2-0, you've beaten Denmark, who came out to be an extremely strong side. Yeah, I think you've just got to let him do what he does.
Okay, fair enough. I am Southgate out. However, there's no one good to replace him with. So we'll give him the World Cup, obviously. No, he's coming Leicester, mate. We'll give him the World Cup, obviously. And if that goes wrong, and if we don't make at least the semis, I think he's got to go.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, what is your early in September? What is your early prediction for the World Cup?
Football's coming home. Has to be. Kane to get 11 goals. No, I'm joking about that one. I think we'll have a solid run. About winning it, I don't know, but I think that we'll have a solid tournament.
Give me a round. Semis, quarters, final. Okay, I'm gonna go quarters.
Ooh, okay.
I think we'll get somebody tough in the quarters, maybe a Brazil or something like that, and we'll go there.
God, this isn't the Euros. Yep, you've got to play Brazil, Argentina.
You got Brazil, Argentina, yeah.
Maybe I'll peg back on the semis.
Semis, alright, fair enough. And I will go quarters. Well, that's the end of that, and that is the end of the pod for this week. It's been an absolute pleasure, Javier. Thank you for coming on as always.
Having me.
Of course, mate, anytime. You're always welcome here. And yeah, we will round off the show there, and I'll catch you all again next week. See ya!